Ryan, what's good with you, homie?
It's good, bro. How you doing?
Oh, man, we chilling, bro. We just came back from overseas, had a few good times together. But outside of that, bro, I see everything you're doing, the way you're stepping, setting the examples that you should. Let us know what's going on with you, my man.
Hey, just got back from Europe, like you said. Well, we went to the UK and then Europe. So, a little international globe trotting going on. But, just I'm on that jet lag shit. How you feel? I know you just got back, so you probably on that jet lag shit too.
Nah, what's crazy is I don't know, for whatever reason, that shit don't even really be fucking with me like that, because when I'm out there, I'm already on like a super late night schedule.
Yeah, so you just stay like on a normal, you know what I'm saying? You just sleep, you just sleep until like 3 o'clock that time, and then it's the same as getting up at normal time in Cali.
Bro, I'm not.
He's got it figured out,
I'm not.
He doesn't even change his watch. He doesn't even change his watches. So he's just like, nah, I'm good. I can be out a little later because it's still early in Cali.
Like, no bullshit, I'm probably going to bed at like 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. every time I'm out there.
Which, see, that's normal Cali time. So, it's 9 hours ahead. So you're on normal midnight schedule, He's not breaking it. He's not breaking the schedule. I see you, bro. I see you.
And matter of fact, I can't even forget this, man. We got my co-host, Snaggy Cheese, up in the villain. Man, let me give you a little history with Nagy. One time, he had just got done getting married, I believe, and I found him at Hong Kong. I think he had been there for 2 days straight. We weren't supposed to talk about this story? Hold on. Oh, I forgot. Hey, matter of fact, Miss Snaggy, that didn't happen. Don't even worry about that. But yeah, that's my boy. He's really wild. Don't let the smile fool you. But outside of that, like I said, we see everything that you're doing, Ryan. But you're one of the people who keep me motivated with to keep trying to step harder and harder. And pretty much as far as through your upcoming times of everything that's been going on with you, when was it that you really knew that this was what you was going to be doing and you didn't see nothing else ever coming in the way of or being different outside of like what you're doing now?
I mean, it's been a long time coming. I'm sure, just like you, I think you're 83, right? 83. I'm 84. So, we're from a different era of this shit for sure. I definitely, been active since I was 16 on some kind of level, but as far as like when do we really start taking it seriously, I would say like, the early, man, if you don't cut, bro, your ringer's you're gonna be blowing up the whole time.
Bro, I'm in
He's like that dude that rides around in the car with the seatbelt thing, just ding, 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 and not even paying attention. I'm like, bruh, come on, bruh. That shit drives me crazy after 2 dings. Motherfuckers just be riding around, not even worrying about it. But nah, like I would say probably like, like California being, I started just like you, I started my company in Northern California. So a lot of inspiration came from like the Bay Area. Obviously 2010 was a pivotal year. And I think it was like, so I got raided in 2009, and it was like, I was out in Texas at the time, caught some felonies and shit.
Well, what part of Texas?
Fort Worth, DFW. And so, shout out to all the homies in DFW, Austin, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth. Yeah, so I got raided, and got caught up basically with some OT, taking some packs out there and stuff, and it was my first offense ever, so I didn't really, I never had any felonies or any other problems, any other than like a misdemeanor weed charge when I was 16, so I just got probation, but it kind of got me where I was stuck out there for a few years and shit like that, but it just kind of put things in perspective, because it was like there was a lot more on the line at that point, because I was on probation and I was on like an 8-year suspended sentence basically, so it's like out there, if you have like never had got a charge before, you get caught up with a nonviolent case like that, they'll give you what they call like deferred adjudicated. My homies in Texas probably know what it is. It's like, basically it's like you they give you like probation for a certain amount of time. If you don't fuck up, they'll drop all your charges type shit. You know what I mean? Because it's nonviolent. So, but the scenario was like a media publicized case, to where it was one of those situations where there was like some things that could have happened. Maybe I could have got my shit dropped, but the way my shit was all on the news and shit, it was like, because it was in regards to TCU, Texas Christian University. So I was kind of like, dealing with some students. Long story short, you know what I mean? So then they do raids at that school every once in a few years, just to keep like the parents happy and shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like, TCU kids be smoking hella weed and stuff. But basically, at that point, there was a lot more on the line, bro. So it was like, I had to like kind of step back and look like, is this what I want to do? Like, if I get caught up, I'm going to be in mad trouble. You know what I'm saying? And like, I happen to have a cool PO, so he let me go back out to Cali and kind of get active again on some three. I only had to check in with him every 3 months and shit. So it just got to the point where like, that was the moment where it was like, I either need to decide to get a regular job and stop doing this shit, or else just like make the decision that that's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? And it was, you know, it was around the same time. This was in 2009, 10. So I got put on probation in July of 2010. The very first U.S. Cannabis Cup for High Times was in June of 2010, and it was at it was a venue called the Terra in just south of like Howard in Soma neighborhood of San Francisco. So I pulled up to that in June. I met a lot of valuable players at that situation. So it was like, that was kind of like, you know, when I, you know, and as I know you remember too, 2010 in the Bay Area, especially notably San Francisco, like the game was, you know, was alive, bro. That was when it was really like, you know, that was the golden era, you could say. So, you know, it was just a cumulative thing of the time and everything, you know?
Absolutely. What at the time when you were out there fucking around, like what was you like specializing in? Like, was you still always like trying to get the best weed you can get?
I mean, I was in the OG game for years, bro. So like I was in the OG game for, well, I mean, it really like, I think it was probably the same progression that you did. It was like, I was in the perp game for a while, you know, selling a lot of perps and stuff, like, you know, the Asian perps, all the different perps. OG started kind of getting popular. I was in the OG game for years. I was coming out here getting OGs from the 818 and shit. You know what I mean? Like that's where I started networking out here in SoCal and stuff, trying to find good OGs. I was in the OG game, and then when the cookies dropped, it was like the cookies changed the world. You know, it was like, that was like, it went from everything like, was like, because you remember when everything, there for a while, it was like people only, a certain, like my demographic only wanted OG. They didn't want to see any other weed really at that for a long time. So, you know, when the cookies dropped, it was like that shit changed up. That kind of like ended the OG era. But yeah, I was always on the high end shit, the trendy shit at the time. You know what I mean?
And mostly at the time when you was still getting it from Cali, bringing it back, or you had maybe somebody bringing it back.
No, I was always copping them myself, or else like, you know, or else I was plugged in with Asians out there. But I normally like, because, you know, I was already had like, by the time I got caught up, I was already active. You know, I have like family out here. You know, I lived out here when I was younger and stuff too. So I had a lot of roots out here. I was coming out here, seeing my boys that I knew from back in the day, putting together packages, going to my aunt's house, you know, staying for a week, you know what I mean? Sending everything back. Like I was already moving active out here, to the point where it was like, it was basically like I was already living out here, but I kind of got caught up out there, and then I got stuck on probation, so I had to have a Texas address.
When did you end up being able to move back over here?
As soon as I got off probation, I was off probation for like probably like
the whole 8?
No, I did 6. So it was in 2000. I moved back out to Cali, like permanently, not like on some. I mean, I had grow houses in Sac while this was, you know what I mean, in from 2012 on, basically, you know, and with you know the. Exception to maybe like a couple years or some shit was shut down, but then we reopened everything back up in 16. That's when I moved back out full time, and that's when like we started. That's when Doja and everything started, and I think you probably said Backpack Boyz same year, right? 2016, yeah. So that was when, November to be exact.
So fast-forwarding a little bit into at the time, I ain't gonna lie, at the time it wasn't really as much fun, because like I wasn't having no fun. I was always just only trying to flip basically. But the black bag days, man, black bag days. You know, a lot of people might not know necessarily exactly what we're talking about.
And shout out to the ones that do. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to the ones that do. But how critical, or not necessarily critical, but how important, and what did you learn specifically out of those days?
I feel like that was the era that gave me the tools that I needed to build what we built. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at a lot of the players that are still active today, it's the ones that had their hands on the black bags. It's like there was something to do with, I don't know, there was some kind of energy with those packs that if you were getting those and you were touching those, it like did something. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, most of those people are still active to this day. You know what I mean? But what did I learn? I'll tell you what I learned. That was the first time that I learned, you know, shit's always been popping in the hood where we would get good OGs and people would be like, man, I need 4. And I'd be like, you can only get 1 type shit. You know what I mean? There's always been shit like that where shit was hot. But I never had like that kind of level, like I would say famous packs until I had the black bags. Like the black bags was where I first started getting international exposure. It went from being like where people in Northern California, North Sacramento specifically, were hitting me up, trying to come through and get work, where then basically people were hitting me from all over the country and pretty soon all over the world, bro. People were like, yo, I'm, you know, hitting me from the UK. Like I'll be there in LA on Saturday. I need those kind of shit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, like these dudes are from the UK. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was the first time that like, you know, shit just, it was like, those packs are like viral packs, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. What was the first city that you would say, like the first consistent city that when people would hit you up and you started noticing that people were coming from out of town to where you were like, yo, these motherfuckers from area are really,
I'll tell you,
fucking with this.
I think you'll remember the time period in 2017. I almost want to make you guess, but I mean, the first city that fucked with us outside of Northern California and really Sacramento, because we didn't even really have much play in the Bay, was Washington, D.C., man. So like 2017, like they were the first ones really doing the way that like those, like the sessions, like the way we were doing them in Cali. They were the first ones really doing that. Like that back then, like I'm not saying like, you know, there's going to be heads that are going to be like, bro, we've been doing that for years. You know, I'm not saying people hadn't been doing that, but the shit in DC was on like CNN and shit. You know what I mean? They were like, oh, we're here today in Washington, DC. And there's fucking a sesh here and there's people lining up down the street. You know what I mean? Like it was lit. I'd be like, damn, these dudes got people around the block and they're like taking videos of it. Like it's on the news. It must be cool. Like, and it just started being like everyone that hit me was from DC. Everyone that hit me, it was like it was crazy. Like I could just be like, "Oh, you're from DC," you know what I mean? So it was definitely DC. And then it's like that whole situation is like, "Where you at now, DC? Come on, we need you to make the comeback, man." They're not as loud as some of the other East Coast. You know, they haven't held the presence. Maybe they're more inclusive. Maybe they just don't fuck with the level that we're, you know, the lane that we're in anymore. But I don't see as many DC players as I used to.
Yeah, no, I guess, you know, everything shifts. But yeah, as far as this, from back those days to see where the game is now and to see what things have turned into and changed into, what is your overall, like how you feel about all that?
I mean, I'll tell you, like it changed a lot because back then it was like the Prop 215 era. You had to have like, you couldn't just hit up a distro the way you can now. You know what I'm saying? Like the legal distro game kind of changed everything. You know what I mean? Like where people can just like touch down from somewhere and they can hit up this fucking starving distro that's basically you know, desperate for fucking clientele. You know what I mean? Like, please come buy a 10-pack. We'll give them 2 for a band. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're like, there's no way any other like random trapper in Hollywood can, you know, probably compete with that. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, that changed the game for sure. I would say also that another thing that changed the game a lot is like, and you know, shout out to these dudes for doing this, but in 2017 and when they're in 18, when we first started seeing a big influx, like you were saying, and at least in our circumstances, since then, a lot of people have made their own brands. So a lot of the New York dudes are just sourcing, a lot of the East Coast guys are sourcing loose work so that they can put them in their bags. They don't necessarily need as much branded work anymore. So, you know, I think that's changed too.
I feel like that word right there is just thrown around too loosely now because
what word?
In the sense of like brand. Like out of the way, my opinion, the way that I feel about it, nah, bro. Just because you came up with a name and you threw it on some bags and you threw the weed up in there, I don't give a fuck if the weed's good or not. That does not make you a brand just yet, because I feel like you're kind of disrespecting me, you, and a few other people that have really climbed up that ladder and earned the title of having a brand.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? I feel like I don't, you know, a lot of the time I just kind of keep it in, but I be thinking sometimes like, yo, bro, like there's way more to it.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But outside of that, going into as far as how the industry is now, the way you see things moving, why do you think it is that at times our industry could turn into a could turn into like another day at high school, in the sense of like,
bro.
you know, some days, you know, you go, and really a lot of the time on the internet, or whatever, like a lot of people will say what they say about people, which usually a lot of the time people always have an opinion about the next person. And then you see them at the events and they're kissing each other.
And they cool, yeah, they're cool. That's crazy too. Or you see somebody hating online and you go through the DMs and you're like, but bro, you were just, you know, you were just fucking with me 2 weeks ago. Like, how'd you swap like that? You know what I mean? It's the age of the internet, bro. That's what it is. Right. Like dudes like me and you come from some shit prior to this, where it's like our reputation meant some shit. Where I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna be out here saying some shit to who knows who about what about Juan, because I don't want him to slide up on me and be like, yo, I heard what you were saying to do. You know what I mean? If I'm not really about that business kind of shit. So it's like, you know, like the internet kind of like took away a lot of that, like, you know, in your face pressure. You know what I'm saying? That like that accountability. You know, dudes be hiding behind the shit because they're like, yo, I'm not. They don't feel like they're gonna see that dude, or you know what I mean, or like, why you think it's a day at high school is another thing. Is like, it's a very like, man, it's, believe it or not, bro. I'll tell you the facts. In my opinion, is I think women are unequally represented in our industry. Meaning that I think there's a lot more men in this industry than women. And as funny as it sounds, bro, like, men just gossip. A lot of men hella gossip, you know, worse than women, bro. And it's like, when you have a bunch of men that maybe, you know, because this is not necessarily something that is, you know, me and you make it look good, bro. Me and you make it look good. But it's not necessarily glamorous at the end of the day, you know. Not just because you're in a weed game doesn't mean that you have, you know, everything you want in life. So a lot of these dudes, you know, just be kind of like struggling out here, dog. And anytime somebody's struggling, you know, there's gonna be a lot of hatred and shit. So it's like, you know, so you see that, you know. At the end of the day, it's because we created this industry. We created that, you know. We created this vibe of everybody wants to collaborate with each other and, you know, like do this and that and this and that. Like I get asked for collaborations 28 times a week, you know, and I'm always thinking like, okay, you know, it makes sense, you know, when you got like something that organically happens, like you and I, we're from the same era, you know, we kind of been working next to each other for years. It makes sense, but it's like for everybody just collaborate with each other and go to each other's events and all this shit. It's like, but then they all hate on each other online. That's what it is. It's high school. It's high school. We created that culture, you know. The soda, the soft drink industry probably doesn't have like trade shows where like the fucking CEOs from Coca-Cola come out and the CEOs from Pepsi come out and you know what I mean? They you know what I mean? Like it's just hella weird how we like intertwine our industry. Like I feel like I want to promote like people pushing their own lane, man, going forward, right? You know what I mean? We gotta have our own lane, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's,
and I feel like a lot
of us do, and especially you, bro. And that's, I want to give you respect for that, because that's, I follow you in that regards.
I feel like we all kind of do, and sometimes people get sidetracked into trying to go into someone else's lane, not realizing they have their own. And if they just focused on that, then it would be a lot better for them.
You gotta focus on yourself. And that's just to add to it. I don't think it's dudes like you and I that add to that high school gossip culture of the industry. I think guys like you and I kind of like regulate the shit and keep shit straight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would like to think so. But either way, at the end of the day, no matter what, you're always going to get what we're talking about. But at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. Like,
I like to see people look good, man. I like to see people do good, man. If you're doing good and you're in this industry in 2023 and you're driving sales, even if you're just maintaining, it's like, I respect that, man. I know how hard it is out here. I'm not trying to see anyone, even like people perceive people as my competition and all that. I'm like, bro, I'm glad these dudes are doing well right now. It's just hard. We're all, you know, there's enough money for everybody to eat. If you're not doing as good as you see somebody else doing, then, you know, innovate, you know, work. I'm not saying work harder, work different, you know.
How much easier do you think it is for the hustler of nowadays to make some money compared to the hustlers of say the ones who had to try to make this shit happen before you had Instagram or before you had some of these tools that we all have access to now?
I think that is easier to get. I think it's a lot easier to get on nowadays, obviously. But then again, I don't know, man. You know, it's there's a lot more competition nowadays too. I think that I think it's a lot harder to maintain over like a time period than it is to have a successful rollout. You know what I mean? I think with the internet and, you know, branding and everything, the way shit is nowadays, I think that, you know, anybody can have a fucking successful rollout, sell a bunch of packs off the rip, get a little wave started, but to really have the substance to be able to keep that shit hot and keep that wave alive, or even maintain traction, or even to increase that over years. That's where it's like what you were trying to say, probably what the difference is between a brand and somebody making some bags. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying throughout this whole time, obviously, especially been doing this quite some time now. A lot of plays been busted, a lot of hands been shaked, a lot of faces been seen. What is one off the rip that really taught you, in the sense of like, whether it be maybe someone close to you just kind of like fucking up a situation you had, not doing what they were supposed to, or whatever fuck it was, to where that really made you think like, yo, this money can fuck someone's head up?
I mean, I feel like, we've seen people change for sure, but I mean, money is going to change you regardless. Like, you can't, it's like people be like, money didn't change me. Yeah, it did. You still eating the same food that you ate. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm personally, I live a lot better than I did when I didn't have money. So it changed me, I feel like, in a good way. But we see people, obviously, when we come up, obviously you and I have seen people that, have had the side effects of the getting on type shit. It's easy to get to your head when you're a young, independent person that came from nothing, and your parents don't really have a lot of money, and you never were handed shit in your whole life, and you start making moves and getting money to where you're getting that more money than what you've been growing up watching doctors getting and shit like that. It's like, if you sometimes you gotta calm yourself down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've seen that shit. Some people, they don't know how to deal with that. I guess what I'm saying, like, I'll talk about you for a second. Is like, okay, I watch a lot of people, but some people are better at it than others, and like people like you that are able to like represent yourself in a way that I look on your IG, and I feel like you do it right, and not everybody has that. You get what I'm saying? Like, not everybody has the skills to be able to represent themselves the right way, to be able to like handle the pressure of making money, having eyes on you, you know what I mean? All that kind of shit. So it's like, it makes people and it breaks people. Some people rise to the occasion, some people take it to the head. And, you when you take shit to the head, it's like it ends up being, biting you in the ass,
What is one of the perks nowadays of being you?
I mean, I don't. You know what it is. I mean, there's a lot.
For me, off the rip.
What about you, bro? What would you say? Huh?
Motherfuckers, like, I'm lugging up to, like, I could go somewhere, and like a lot of the time, because motherfuckers, I be feeling like this is my thought process. Like, a lot of motherfuckers know that I deal with good weed,
right?
So they come and gift me,
right?
You know what I mean? And usually they trying to give me their A game,
right?
You know what I mean? And so I get lucky enough to get blessed with a lot of good ass smoke that maybe I might not have never been able to come across.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a plus. I mean, I have this. I wrote this little. I post this shit sometimes. I wrote this little poem when I was high one time, but it's kind of like basically saying how, like, I don't really have to do much. The best weed finds me every time. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what I was saying is, like, if somebody has some shit, like somebody within our circle, you know what I mean, that knows me, if they have some shit that they're really like excited about, shit like that, they're gonna come show me for sure. So it's like, you're right. We do get to see a lot of extra special shit. And people just like, people fuck with us. So it's like, it's nice to be able to go places and get VIP treatment. You know what I mean? Like when I go to places, like, how it is. We go to live Miami, like everywhere we go, we're basically treated like, sometimes I feel like even on a higher level than the rappers and shit, bro, because people fuck with us as legit, as business people. They know we're actually not just there on some, people know me and you aren't one-hit wonders. We're going to be around next year. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these, a lot of these entertainers, may or may not be like that. So it's like, I feel like I get super VIP treatment, man. If I'm at Live, they're letting me in the artist entrance. All the security guards are showing me love because they know who we are type shit. So it's like, I feel like perks are we get VIP treatment for sure. And, I try to do well with that, man. I share the wealth. I bring my guys with me and shit,
So earlier you were saying something about women not, like, women maybe not being represented too much in the space. But I agree with you. There's just not really enough women involved in the space at all. One thing I noticed, you got your girl, and I see you always expressing, the appreciation for her, which I think is fire. How long you been with her for?
So we just like the other day in Paris, we hit 15 years.
Nagy, how long you been married for? You're not married? Okay. How many times? All right, so 15 years. So out of that 15 years, how many times you been caught cheating?
I mean, like actual times or like periods. I mean, there's different periods in life, but really just recent. I mean, it's been more of a recent thing that we've been kind of going through some turbulence and stuff. But
so turbulence?
Yeah, but just recent. I mean, really only a couple, but it was like in one period. It's been in the recent periods. I mean, it is like I think that's another thing that men in our situation probably battle with too. You know what I mean? It's a lot of opportunities, and when you're coming up and you don't necessarily have those opportunities, it's easy to be, you know what I mean? It's easy to walk the straight and narrow, but when you get to be a little older and you have these opportunities and stuff, sometimes it's a little harder. So I think a lot of men probably battle with that. That's just natural. But I think a lot of women understand that, and I think it's just about finding a happy medium, man, something that works for everybody.
Is it different, in your opinion, if a man cheats or should a woman cheat?
I mean, I personally, I know that it's there's different schools of thought on this scenario. I've heard people say that a man can impregnate multiple women at a time, countless multiple women, whereas a woman can only be impregnated by one man. So I'm not buying into that theory. That is just one theory. That's one school of thought. So do I think, is it the same? I mean, I personally, I'm not a woman, so I don't know how women think, but I do know that the way men think, I don't feel like women necessarily should be that upset with it, because it's for us. I feel like we have a lot of physical. I think it's more of a physical thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily like an emotional or you know what I mean? Like it's like, it's not like, you have these opportunities. You're not trying to marry all these girls. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I can't say that I feel that. I mean, we have these talks. My girl tells me like, well, how, if you think it's okay for men to do that, why isn't it okay for women to do that? And I really don't have a good answer for that. What's your answer? How do you feel? What is your answer?
I feel that men are programmed a little bit different than women. And I'm not going to say necessarily that it's okay or like that I'm saying it's the right thing to do, but I'm just saying that I feel that men are programmed. You know what I mean? So that's why maybe it might be a little bit more common for the man to do it. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like women, and like I said, that could just be a matter, that obviously it's a matter of opinion, but I do feel like it's a little bit different. But that's, like I said, that's just my opinion. What about you, Nagy? How many times you been caught cheating?
Never. You guys are both wrong. The answer is there is no difference.
What do you mean?
Okay, there you go. All the women like this guy. They're like, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Participate in those type of activities.
So we're gonna forget about the Hong Kong.
Yes.
I got you. All right. Okay. So how often would you say that there ends up being like, I don't know, for the most though, I feel like you said, like when you're in certain positions, as far as you start having your way and, things start coming a little bit, that maybe weren't coming before, like you said, man, I it's kind of hard to at sometimes say no to these things.
Right.
But overall, I guess, we're all trying to do the best we can.
I mean, yeah, and that's like, I feel like, at the same time too, there's like a level of honesty and things that can be done and said, and like, maybe some relationships aren't, maybe some people aren't meant to be in relationships too. So, you know what I mean? Like it's different things, man. But at the end of the day, like I do believe in love, and I think that love will always win in the end. Like if you are supposed to be with somebody, I feel like you'll always end up with that person, no matter what happens. So,
Maggie, how many asses have you ate in your life?
Possibility 10 to 15.
I thought you beating 10 to 15, Ryan?
10 to 15, no, I'm not hit that number. I'm pretty selective with the salads that I'm tossing. Period. Keep it real.
All right, so no,
Serious personal.
Is it or is it not tricking if you got it? We all want to know.
I mean, you're asking me. I mean, I'm
your opinion.
Yeah, my opinion. I mean, yeah, nah, it's definitely not, in my opinion. I mean, we what are you about to spend? You're about to pay your cousin a band to eat 2 chips. You know what I'm saying? Some people, hey, I'm just saying. So it's like, at the end of the day, a band's a band, bro. What are we spending it on? You know what I mean? Like what are we spending it on, bro? So it's like, I don't really. It's not tricking if you got it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's all about it. It's all about your intentions too, man. What are you trying to do? These. You have to understand this too, man. These ladies, that's what they do for a living too. So it's like, or are you tricking, or are you, helping everybody out? You know what I mean? Stimulating the economy. Maybe you're stimulating the economy. In these hard times, motherfuckers rely on shit like that.
You're right.
So I'm just saying, bro. No one was doing it. There might be kids going without meals and shit.
Okay, so the strip clubs in Europe opposed to the strip clubs.
All right, so I mean, I think me and you just had this experience personally. So I just found out that, while I was over there, I found out that they do not have single bills. Their singles are coins. So making it rain is out of the question in there. They never even seen that. Me and Juan said next time we go, we're gonna take some U.S. money I'm gonna take U.S. money. I'm gonna take a band, one of the band bags through TSA. You know what I mean? Put it in. You know what I mean? And take that out there and make it rain on these girls with the American money. But yeah, so they never seen it rain like what we, you know what I mean? I was showing her videos. I was showing one of the girls videos. I was like, this is how it goes down in America. She was like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, but other than that, I mean, I noticed that, man, shout out to America, man. We probably got the best strip clubs in the world. The girls out here, they work, man. You know what I mean? Those girls over there, they weren't working that very hard, bro. I don't feel like they wanted that money. When the girls that we were with went up on the stage to try to make it like, you know what I mean? Make it like, sprinkle on them a little bit, like they didn't seem like they were trying to, you know what I mean? They weren't trying to like, they just weren't doing much, bro. They're just like, you know what I mean? Like, and if you're just like got that badass attitude, then, I mean, you know what I mean? It's just not much going down, bro. It's just kind of dead. Plus it's like a no touch policy. You can't touch anything. Like, come on, bro. It's just cool, whatever. Shout out to Spearmint Rhino, Birmingham, UK. They got a spearmint over there. When I found that out, I was like, lit. We know this place. I feel like I'm, you know what I mean? Like, we've been here before, but then I got there and it was the modified version, but it was cool. It was cool.
Ass or titties?
Man, I'm more of a, I would say the latter over the former. You know what I mean? I'm more of an ass dude. For sure.
Maggie?
Had a good smile.
Yeah, good smile. Yeah, he's like, I like a good personality. Good personality. Hey, man. Be real with you. I feel like it's either the correct answer is both. You know what I mean? Like really, like if you really want to get get technical, the correct answer is both. You know what I mean? Out here, 2023, the standards are really like, I mean, like, who's the last person that said, like, the last person that said they're a breast dude was in, like, what, 1993 or some shit. That's the last time he's like, man, I like a good set of titties. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not really, you know, you can't just settle for that like that anymore. So it's like, you know, I mean, you know, whatever. It's both, dog. It's both.
Yeah, so we got this part of the show. We're calling it First Thing on Your Mind.
Good.
So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just say something, and basically you just say the first thing that comes to your mind. Try to be as honest as you can. You get the concept, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. So first one. Fentanyl.
Death.
Threesomes.
Please.
Federal legalization.
It's coming.
Honey packs.
I'll use them.
Gelato.
King.
Joe Biden.
Who's that?
Vladimir Putin.
So who's that?
Bukkake.
Scumbags.
Oh man, my boy. All right, so that was our first thing on your mind segment. We got one more. We're calling it "Why Would You?" So basically, what's gonna happen is my boy Nagy Cheese right here. Nagy, matter of fact, bro, where the fuck did the Nagy Cheese came from? Because you ate some cheese out of a girl's ass, right? Is that how that came? That's what it was. Okay. Fuck. All right. So basically, we're gonna throw up some videos right here. You go ahead, watch the video, and then from there, you just tell me why you think they would do that. So first one being here.
Yeah.
Nice. So go ahead, take it out, Nick.
Damn, bro. I don't know, dog. That's they got, I don't know. They got something wrong with them. That's some kind of training. I don't know what they're training for. They're training for something, dog. He's trying to. He's like, yo, I'm a.
All right, next one. Bring up the next one.
He might know something we don't know. Maybe it comes back stronger.
How you feel about this one?
Yeah, I seen this one, bro. I saw this one. His sister kind of getting on him a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. She got some hands. Oh shit, he's throwing them though.
All right, so this one.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, that's like, man, that's just how. I mean, I just picture, bro. Like, I guess I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's just how I picture that they train in Asia, bro. That's like, I'm serious. Like, that's how I look at these kids, bro. That's they got their moms. They're in the kitchen right now. They probably just ate breakfast. It's like, all right, one round right now. Where you go to school? Like, I mean, they're gonna be good if shit go down. They're straight. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, look at her. She's extending her arms and everything, bro. She's good, bro.
All right, next one, Nagy. All right, so I guess this has been a trend that they've been doing lately on the East Coast.
Okay, what is this?
So they're just buying bottles to pour them out, not even drinking them.
Okay, that's what I know. Mo Packs used to do that.
I'm already seeing I'm seeing Mo Pack. Yeah. I'm seeing Clase Azul though on one side, and I'm seeing Casamigos on the other. I already automatically feel like New York won by default.
Like you win, like whoever pours out the most liquor wins.
And that's what it's looking.
Bro, I'll come out there and pour out one bottle of Petrus, 15 bands, just be like, all right, one bottle, drop the mic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. That's just crazy, bro. That's some real shit. Like, focus beat. I see. You know, I can understand. There's a good reason to do that. I'll tell you why. So my boy Mo Pax, he, you know, shout out to Mo, you know, legend, Miami legend, NorCal, Redding, California, Patterson, New Jersey legend. He would always go to the club and then he doesn't drink, and then they'll obviously are going to impose a bottle minimum on you. Like, yeah, you got to spend 2 bands, 3 bands. So then he would spend the money and then just order whatever, but he didn't drink. So, I mean, you know what I mean? I guess he could give it out or something and be nice, but he would just pour his shit out. I'd be like, yo, that's kind of balling right now. It's kind of baller alert, you know? So, I mean, you know, I guess there's a good reason for everything. If you have to spend the money to kick it and you're just like, fuck that, I came in here to kick it, spend this money. Oh, you can't drink any of this. You know, I personally will let you drink it, but whatever, you pour it out. That's what gets your blood flowing. You know what I mean? That's what gets your blood flowing, you know? It's not tricking if you got it. Think about this. Let me ask you a question. Out of all that money that he just spent right now, pouring out those bottles, standing around looking like this is fucking D12 freestyle battle, and he just poured out those bottles, right? And he spent all that bread. And then you take that same amount of bread and you go to HK or you go whatever. Who do you think's having more fun, bro? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, is it at that point, is it tricking really? Who's tricking at that point? Are you tricking the guy who's tricking? The guy pouring out the bottles or the guy that's, you know what I mean? That's what people would say is tricking. I'm just saying, that's what I mean. So it's all about what you want to spend your money on. You know what I mean? You want to spend your money on a band on him eating two of those fucking chips. I feel like it's worth it. I damn near going half on you on that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's all about what you equated it earlier to a level of entertainment. So if they're pouring it out and that's the, you know what I mean? Then that's just what's entertaining them right now. That's fuck it. Yeah, that's I like this video. I never could really figure out what they were doing, but it's, you know what I mean? Like, I think the one dude just got, oh, shoot. I wonder who technically won. You know what I mean? I mean, the dude in the green, he kind of got a couple jump, you know. he got a little air on him, you know what I mean? That's got to be numbers. Yeah, you got to get it numbers.
That's like jumping up the top rope.
Yo, those dudes are lit. I don't know why they were doing that. That must be some kind of like sport that they do in that part of the world, you know? I'm not that traveled yet, man. See, watching these videos lets me know I haven't been everywhere I think I've been yet. I still got to go.
Nagy, would you ever do that if you went to India?
How you know that's India, bro? You just assuming that's India? That could be like all kinds of different places. You want to have the chest slap game?
That pretty much concludes today's first episode of PackTalk. Shout out my boy Ryan. Shout out my boy Nagy Cheese. Appreciate everybody who's fucking with us. Ryan, if you could, though, real quick, let them know how to get a hold of you on social media if you can for anyone.
The official Telegram is Doja_Telegram. Doja.pack on IG is the only official Instagram. Please do not be fooled by imposters.
Yeah, don't. Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, we got this conversation. I just feel like there's something we should touch on real quick before we go out. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan. We would never hop in your DM asking you for money, asking you for anything, asking you for shit. That being said, again, man, shout out to everybody. Thank you for fucking with us. Until next time.
Thank you.